Hey everybody, hope you're having a good weekend so far. I'm not going to waste any time. I'm just going to get right into it. The global supply chain is, for lack of a better term, I'm not going to say the cuss word, jacked up. And I mean it is jacked up bad. Worse than I thought, worse than probably you're thinking. I was forwarded an article by one of my subscribers, Raptor17. Uh, it's a very good article. It's detailed. I'm going to put a link in the description so you can read it for yourself. And I'm going to read a couple of several excerpts out of it here in a little bit. But before I get to it, there's just many different things that are just complicating and really tearing up our supply chain. And it's going to affect what you're seeing in the stores. It's going to affect what you can get a hold of. Okay. So you got several things. You have shipping costs that are just keep skyrocketing, going crazy. You got it's just crippling the supply chain to the breaking point and beyond, I believe. You got shipping crews that are delayed. They're being left out at sea more far beyond their regular stints because of the backlog of everything, because of COVID restrictions. They're not allowed to come into land like they should be all around the world, especially around Asia and in Europe as well. So you have that. I mentioned last week about the Union Pacific Railroad, how they're delaying any shipments from the West Coast to Chicago. That's been going on all week. That's got to affect things. You can imagine. We have the new COVID variants that are wreaking havoc in Asia, and I know everybody has their own opinion about those variants, but something has been really tearing up and wreaking havoc on countries in Asia, especially India. We know what it did there, and some other Asian countries around there, and that's affecting a lot of shipment, a lot of the flow of goods. Okay, and then we have natural disasters. I mean, here lately, all these floods, especially China. We had those dam breaks in China, and all that flooding looks terrible. And the flooding in Germany, a lot of damage, some lives lost there. So that is also affecting a lot of their shipping. And so you have two big players there in China and Germany that are greatly affected right now. So we're going to see the effects of that. We have cyber attacks that are going on that were happening in the South African ports that were delaying a lot of stuff. And then we still have, if you remember, in South China, some big ports there that were being shut down temporarily because of restrictions, self-isolation of employees that work in these ports. So it's just a bunch of things just compounding the problem. And the supply chain was already stretched and already having problems as it is. Okay. Not necessarily seeing it in the stores right now, but I think you're going to, and I think very soon. I know I saw an article about in the UK about officials there urging the public not to panic buy. Apparently, they've been having some noticeable empty spots on the shelves and shortages of certain food items. And apparently, they've had some panic buying going on because they're trying to urge the public not to do that. So, usually, what we see in parts of Europe and UK, may see here too. So that's something to think about. Prepare. The transportation, the shipping accounts for 90% of our world trade, around 90%. So that's huge. So when we have all these problems, you can imagine what it's going to do to what we see and what we're going to be able to get a hold of and goods and drive up the cost even more. So it's going to affect a lot of different things from food to oil, electronics, tires, auto parts, automobiles, raw materials, just electronics. Might have mentioned that one, but a lot of different things. Like I said, the floods. You have the computer chip, semiconductor chip problem that's still going on. First, they were saying that that could be resolved and start getting these automakers back online and getting them, production back to normal sometime this year in 21. But now a lot of executives are saying, senior executives are saying that this will continue well into 2022. Okay, we get into this article. Like I said, this was sent by a subscriber. Raptor17, I appreciate it. Says global supply chains buckle as virus variant and different disasters strike. So says this is a perilous moment for global supply chains, given that around 90% of the world's trade is done by shipping. The crude crisis is disrupting supply of everything, from oil to iron ore to food, electronics. I mentioned one German official described the situation as extremely challenging. No kidding. Meanwhile, deadly floods, economic giants, China and Germany have further ruptured the global supply lines that had yet to recover from the first wave of the pandemic. Germany, road transportation of goods has slowed significantly. VP for sales and marketing in the Midwest with Taiwan Freight and Logistics said that a lot of companies are scrambling to free goods that are stacked up in Asia and in United States ports due to a confluence of crisis. It's not going to clear up at least until March, one said. And a lot of pain for the automakers. Like I said, the semiconductor chip thing is still an issue, and it's just continuing and going to get worse, it looks like. A Toyota Motor Company said this week it had to halt operations at plants in Thailand and Japan because they couldn't get parts. How many of you have had trying to get your automobiles worked on, and they've had to be delayed because parts can't get the parts? I've been hearing some of that on automobiles, tractor equipment, all kinds of things. The Europe's biggest home appliance maker, Electrolux, warned this week of worsening component supply problems, which have hampered production. So that's just another example. So, and then United States and China, the buckling supply chains that are hitting the United States and China, World Economic Motors, two big ones there, together account for more than 40% of global economic output. This could lead to a slowdown global economy along with rising prices for all manner of goods and services and raw materials. Things just keep going up and up and up, right? Ports across the globe are suffering all kinds of log jams not seen in decades, according to one industry player. I've mentioned before the Union Pacific Railroad thing. That was a problem. Still an issue. The effort, which aims to ease significant congestion in Chicago, will also put pressure on ports in Los Angeles, Long Beach, Oakland, and Tacoma. So those are just a few things on that. It's a longer article. I definitely encourage you to check it out. It's very good, detailed. But like I said, this is a global thing. It's going to affect what we see, what we're able to get a hold of. My advice is to get things now. If you need something, if you need your car worked on, get it done while you can. If you need a new vehicle, get it if you can, as soon as possible. I think it would be even easier. You're going to pay a higher price, I know, but I think it would be easier to get one now than it may be even a few months from now, 6 months from now or more. It's the same with other things, appliances, furniture, tools. So it's going to affect a lot of things. Already is. Christmas presents. If you may want to jump on those early. I mentioned that before, of course. But other than that, keep stacking, keep prepping, pray up, pray for this country, pray for our leaders, and just keep preparing. Take care. God bless you. I'll see you soon. Share your thoughts.